Hi, I'm M. Lavore Perry, and this is Lotus Sutra Buddhism on Substack. Lotus Sutra Buddhism.substack.com. Today's episode is titled, The Lotus Sutra is different from all of the Buddha's other sutras because it alone teaches that we're all Buddhas, even when we're scared. When I first decided to publish Lotus Sutra Buddhism, I had two objectives. One was to inspire members of the Soka Gakkai International, the SGI, to read the Lotus Sutra, which the organization is supposedly based on. The SGI is the world's largest Buddhist organization with millions of members worldwide. I was a member from 1987 to 2010. I quit because the organization promotes the teaching of its now deceased president, Daisaku Ikeda, to the point that its constitution says that he's their mentor and spiritual leader in perpetuity. The organization doesn't teach members to read the Lotus Sutra or Nichiren's writings, which are strictly based on the Lotus Sutra, and members don't read it. The other reason I created this publication was to introduce the Lotus Sutra to people who are interested in Buddhism or who practice other types of Buddhism but are open to learning about the Lotus Sutra. Then there is the third rail, Buddhists of other schools who have a negative view of the Lotus Sutra and or are absolutely certain that ordinary people can't be Buddhas. Regarding the claim that ordinary people are Buddhas, the Lotus Sutra teaches that everything is one and life is eternal. Therefore, because Shakyamuni was a Buddha, so are we. You can catch my previous episodes on these topics. These past couple of weeks, I've been battling insecurity. I've avoided doing certain things because I didn't want to be around people who I thought believed I was less than them and didn't like me. Theoretically, I know I'm not less than anyone else, and I shouldn't care what people think. But carrying these feelings is a battle I've waged since early childhood. I retreat into it sometimes. This latest occurrence has been my worst in a while. Like, I've barricaded myself in my house, binge watching the TV show High Potential, neglecting personal hygiene, and ducking grocery shopping to the point of being ridiculously creative about what to eat. My reluctance to touch that third rail, Buddhists who have a negative view of the Lotus Sutra and or are absolutely certain that ordinary people can't be Buddhas, has everything to do with my insecurities. Maybe they'll think I'm arrogant for saying the Lotus Sutra is the highest teaching. Maybe they'll get mad at me for saying it and for saying that I've experienced enlightenment. I have episodes about that too. This is weird because SGI members have done those things. They've called me arrogant, crazy, and wrong for saying they should read the Lotus Sutra and that ordinary people are Buddhas. But those other Buddhists are a different animal. It's like if I say that they should read the Lotus Sutra, I'm being dogmatic, and I don't want to be that. So I've left that rail alone. But in his writing, The Strategy of the Lotus Sutra, Nichiren said, "Have profound faith. A coward cannot have any of his prayers answered." I know that. I know that if I give in to my fear of what other people think of me, not only will I be letting myself down, I'll close off the path to enlightenment. Yesterday, I privately messaged the moderators of the Buddhism group on Reddit. Reddit is a website where you can create groups about almost anything. Up top, I told the moderators that they banned me under a different email address, and I wasn't trying to get back in. I just wanted them to stop lying. In each post that I've written in the group over several years, I've said that ordinary people are Buddhas. They deleted every one. In the message, I told them that the teaching that ordinary people are Buddhas is the fundamental doctrine of the Lotus Sutra. In the post they banned me for, I said that I've experienced enlightenment myself and met non-Buddhists who lead enlightened lives. I have episodes about that too. They told me that they don't allow group members to say they've attained enlightenment, because anyone who says that is claiming that they're superior to everyone else. That's the opposite of what the Lotus Sutra is about. It's about everyone being a Buddha equally. I told the moderators this. I told them they should either allow members to post about Lotus Sutra doctrine or be honest about who the group is for. It's not what its description says, a Reddit for all kinds of Buddhist teachings. It's a Reddit for every Buddhist teaching except the Lotus Sutra. The 3 moderators who replied to me all said the same thing. We allow Lotus Sutra doctrine. We just don't allow anyone to say they've attained enlightenment. You're welcome to post here. I wasn't going to post. What if they ban me again, loudly declaring, "We don't like you"? But then I decided, F it. Here's the post. Do I want to expand beyond my current knowledge and discover what I don't know? I sometimes have to push myself out of my own way to let new information in, because I can get locked into thinking only a certain way is the right way. According to the Buddha in the Lotus Sutra, the reason it took his disciple Shariputra 40 years to be told he could become a Buddha, which the Buddha tells him in chapter 2, is because it took that long for Shariputra to stop being satisfied with what he already knew. In chapter 2, Expedient Means, the Buddha says, people of small wisdom delight in a small doctrine, unable to believe that they themselves could become Buddhas. If the Buddha's claim is true, we shouldn't have to wait 40 years. We just have to be teachable. That's one of my personal goals, to remain teachable. I have experienced enlightenment in my own way. I can't describe what it's like. I think that would be like me trying to describe what an apple tastes like. So to me, a person has to experience enlightenment for themselves. That's my understanding of what the Buddha says to Shariputra in chapter 2. But stop, Shariputra. I will say no more. Why? Because what the Buddhas have achieved is the rarest and most difficult to understand law. The true aspect of all phenomena can only be shared and understood between Buddhas. And that's how my post on Reddit ended. Before I finished writing this episode, I checked Reddit. They deleted it. But not before 50 people read it and 7 people shared it. That's a battle won. Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. Earlier today, I made the tape that you just got finished watching, and I just finished doing the thing that I have been avoiding for 2 weeks. I did it. And one of the people was there that I was afraid didn't like me and all that, and I broke through. Personally, I like Burton Watson's translation of the Lotus Sutra. The Lotus Sutra and its opening and closing sutras, because it's written in contemporary English. You can read it, Nichiren's writings, and a dictionary of Buddhism at nichirenlibrary.org. One of the things I like about the site is that it has a search box, so I can find a particular passage by entering a word or phrase from it. To help you study the Lotus Sutra, I created a study guide. It provides summaries of chapters that Nichiren wrote about a lot, links to those chapters and Nichiren's writings, and links to concepts in a dictionary of Buddhism. You can download it and share it at bit.ly/Lotus-Sutra-resources. Thank you for listening, watching, or reading. See you next time. Tell your friends about Lotus Sutra Buddhism on Substack, and subscribe and get more podcasts and videos at Lotus Sutra
Buddhism.substack.com.